We are back with Gilded Shadows. So, I was aware of voices before I fully awakened, two of them male and speaking in low words that were a mere buzz. My head throbbed as I tried to work up enough saliva to swallow. Everything was hot. It felt like I was dying. But I couldn't die. I forced my eyes open and, through the haze, saw two people leaning over me. A broken, disordered series of images flashed through my mind: the car, the explosion, gunshots, a strange man with odd eyes. It wasn't a dream. The realization hit me, and I let out an undignified shriek as I bolted upright. Where was I? I didn't know these people. In the back of my mind, I did think one that was vaguely familiar, but most prominent was the feeling of terror. I acted on instinct. The men jumped back, but I was already launching myself up off the bed. I saw a blurry head of blonde hair try to duck away, but not before my elbow connected with it. Magnus. He and I hit the ground at the same time, but I didn't stop. The other man came around the end of the bed, but I scrambled away. Have to get home. I burst through the door into a hall, my bare feet slapping against the tiled floor. Everything hurt, but I still ran. The people in the hall were blurs and colored blobs as I sprinted past. A few of them reached out for me, but I shouted and staggered away from them. One was a blonde doctor who, just seconds too late to grab me. Where was I going? I didn't know. Outside, I hoped. I rounded a corner, almost toppling as I tried to make the sharp turn. My fingers brushed the floor as I steadied myself and continued to flee. Behind me, people were following. I ran past rows of chairs, stopping to pull some out and into the path. But why couldn't I find an exit? My head hurt so much, spots swam in and out of my vision. Every memory and thought felt disconnected and discordant. There was only the vision of fractured rainbow light and the sound of everything crumbling around me. I bolted past the door after door until I thought I would vomit. It was like a maze with no way out. I turned down another corridor, confronted with the blurry dead end ahead. The voices behind me drew close, so I veered into a room on my right and slammed my hand on the control panel to shut the door before shoving a bed across it. I made sure it was wedged against the inner lip so the door couldn't slide easily. No windows, no way out. I backed against the far wall, using it to lean against as I stared at the now blocked exit. Where had they taken me? Who had taken me? Someone tried to open the door. The bed made a horrific scrape as they pushed it back slightly. I grabbed a glass jar with swabs from a nearby counter and hurled it at the door. It shattered, and whoever was trying to come inside jerked the door back shut. Voices spoke right outside, one angry and one amused. I gripped my skull and slid down the wall with a soft groan. The voices argued, and I let my head drop against my knees. I remembered the rainbow room, the woman shooting at us, a man with strange eyes, but not much more. How long have I been unconscious, and where was I now? Someone tried to open the door again, and I struggled to my feet to respond with another glass jar. Stay away! There were a few moments of silence. The door opened a few centimeters. We're not going to hurt you. I said, stay away. I readied another glass jar just in case. Out of curiosity, what will you do once you run out of jars? I responded by throwing the one in my hand. The door slammed shut, but this time I heard laughter. Ugh. I hit the floor again, straining to hear what was being said outside over the roar of blood in my ears. I was so hot, dizzy, my heart felt like it was about to explode. What should I do now? So how long do you think this standoff will last? The man with the amused-sounding voice. She shouldn't be out of bed, awake or not, much less tearing through the halls, screaming and throwing things. It's a wonder she can even move. At the last check, she was still running a high fever, and her blood pressure was very nearly at the level of hypertensive crisis. That was a different voice, one I haven't heard before. What were you fools doing that she slipped past you anyway? Well, she woke up pretty damn suddenly. We weren't expecting her to bolt up and knock one of us out. She broke my glasses too. So now that there are at least three people, the grumpy voice, the amused voice, and someone else, you imbeciles, we need to get her out of there. At the moment she seems intent on throwing something at anyone who opened the door. Am I supposed to believe that is enough to stop you lot of monsters? A fourth voice broke in there. If we startle her too much, she may... I couldn't keep up anymore. I shut my eyes. Though it didn't stop the feeling of everything spinning like crazy, the voices faded to a dull murmur. After some time, I had a vague awareness of the door opening again. I scouted and jerked my head up. The movement sent my vision reeling, and I had to brace myself against the nearby cabinet to stay upright. The figure silhouetted in the door. They were familiar. It was... We're gonna go with the grumpy kidnapper. Yeah. He stood there without speaking, just looking my way. I couldn't see his expression well, but I suspected I was being glared at. What was his name again? Kidnapper? I tried to get to my feet, though I wasn't sure that I intended to do once I did. I wasn't having much luck, though. It's Caleb, actually. But, given the state that you're in, maybe I should just be grateful you remember me at all. He came towards me and, to my surprise, helped me stand. I wanted to push him, but I just leaned on him and wished everything would stop spinning. I remember you kidnapped me. I doubted that had much bite, considering I practically was hugging him to stay on my feet. As much as I would love to have yet another argument with you about that, now isn't the time. You need to come with me back to your room. Hell no. Then what do you intend to do exactly? You're barely standing, your fever's through the roof. PSI fatigue can kill, and I hope you realize it's your fault. As wonderfully well expressed as that sentiment was, he sighed and helped me to the bed that was still half blocked the door. I leaned against it, very tempted to just lie down. Do you even remember where you are, Nori? Or that you volunteered to come here? I gave him a suspicious look when he said that. I volunteered? You're at Core Soloris, the headquarters of Ingame. Wait, Ingame? A vague memory stirred. I was in the alley with the other man, with Ari. There was a woman in my... I'm not sure my head hurt so much. Caleb brushed my hair out of my eyes in a gesture that struck me as oddly gentle. We're not going to hurt you. That was never the plan. I don't feel so well. He sighed and, without another word, lifted me into his arms. I made a feeble protest as he kicked the bed away from the door, then kicked the door all the way open. Too loud. He muttered a gruff apology as he carried me into the hall. Several others waited outside, but I shut my eyes against the side of them and decided maybe I'm just gonna have a nap. They fell into step beside us, but when one of them tried to speak, Caleb cut him off. I don't think she's up for conversation, so knock it off, Doc. Why are you being so nice to me? You were so rude before, carrying me so gently, making others leave me alone. You definitely hadn't been this thoughtful before. Grumpy, rude kidnapper. One of the other men snorted rather loudly before breaking into laughter. Shut the hell up, Magnus, or I'll be the one elbowing you in the head this time. That's more like the Caleb I remember. You shut up too, just go to sleep. You go to sleep. I mumbled it half-heartedly into his shoulder, even though it didn't make sense. At this point, nothing else did either. The slow swaying of his body as he walked lulled me most of the way back to sleep. I was only somewhat aware of when he finally laid me on the bed, vaguely aware of cool fingers sweeping my hair from my forehead again, and a soft word muttered to me before his footsteps retreated. I was pretty sure he had just called me an idiot, but I was too tired to respond. I just lay there and let myself drift off to sleep. Alright, this is gonna be a short chapter, but we're done with that one. And I will see you guys in the next one.